So, as per another viewer request, we wanted to go over cosmetics today. So cosmetics are a very important part of the game, which is pretty unfortunate because more often than not you have to either choose between doing a multi on a banner or buying one singular cosmetic for a character unless there is a discount or you're buying a lower grade than you are. So taking for example this new Arthur that just came out, if we go to his closet, you can see that I do not currently have all 5 of his outfits enabled. So the big thing here to note is that you can only have 5 enabled at one time. So we can actually go to a separate character. I know Jericho has more. So you can see I have a ton of outfits for Jericho, but I can only have 5 equipped at one time for each category. So the big thing that you want to try to do is obviously UR upgrades or UR pieces are going to give you more of a base stat than most. So you want to go with UR if you have it, or you'll have to upgrade it to get to UR or past UR. So for example, the UR piece right here gives me 180 defense. If I go to the SR or SSR piece, it gives me 120. I don't think I have one, but the SR piece actually gives you 70. So you definitely want to go with UR. It gives you a much higher sort of boost. If I go to a character that has a cosmetic maxed out, such as Gother, for example, he's always one that's really good to invest in. These defense pieces are actually at 210, but that's because I have enhanced the costume. So the big thing here is that if you go to enhance, you can use whatever the corresponding cosmetic upgrade is for those characters to sort of max it out. The big thing to note is that it's a lot cheaper to just go with UR pieces and upgrade those to maximum instead of getting an SSR piece all the way to UR and then all the way to maximum at that point. So it's like 60 upgrade cosmetics just to get it from SSR to UR, and then from UR to maximum it's a 30 requirement. So you definitely want to go with UR if you can. Obviously, you know, UR costumes cost more in the Sacred Treasure Shop. So if you didn't know, you can actually go to Sacred Treasure Shop over here and you can buy outfits for your characters. So you can, you know, either choose a character that you want or whatever you want to do there. So just note that the higher level the cosmetic is, the more it's going to cost diamond wise. But yeah, the basic concept is you just want to go for character, or you want to make sure that you can max your character out by grabbing 5 UR pieces preferably, and then maxing those out by spending the cosmetic upgrades on them. So if I were to go to Lost Vein, for example, all of the festival units only get UR cosmetics so far. They've never released an SSR cosmetic for a festival unit. So if we go to his closet, all of these costumes were already UR when I got them, which means I only had to invest, you know, 30 cosmetic upgrades into each one of these. So that is pretty nice. This is one of the very few characters that I have completely maxed out, except for one missing cosmetic, which is for him specifically. I've already bought his cosmetics that he normally has. Every so often they'll come out with a sort of like rotating set that comes out just whenever they feel like it, and he'll end up getting a 5th one, but it's either only available for money within the first like 2 weeks of its arrival, or you'll have to pay for it with diamonds after that 2-week period, and I normally just end up forgetting, so that is on me. But yeah, there's obviously a variety of ways you can get cosmetics. Right now specifically, if we go to the exchange shop for the event that's going on right now, you can see that you can get some cosmetic upgrade or cosmetics for a Liz Hawk sort of character, which is kind of nice, but you know, they tend to sort of give out cosmetics for characters that are a little bit less useful. Every so often they will give out good ones. Like I think in the last event they ended up giving out a free cosmetic set for Tarmiel, which was really nice. So we were able to get all 3 pieces, but they were all SSR pieces, so they're not quite up to maximum. If I wanted to, because I've already got the costume, I could just say, hey, that's nice of them, let me just go ahead and buy these 2 UR like attack pieces, the bracers for him, and then I could just, you know, I could spend the extra cosmetic upgrades to just max these all out to UR and then max them out beyond UR. But it really just depends on how much you use that character and how much you want them to be maxed out and stuff like that. Obviously, the ones that you would want to go for the most are probably like whoever you use on your PvP team. I find that PvP is probably the most important place to have your cosmetics upgraded and stuff like that, because I mean PvE in most scenarios is going to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You don't have to have like an absolutely maxed out unit or anything like that. But in PvP, a lot of the times, you know, if it's between your character having all of their cosmetics but not upgraded and theirs having all of their cosmetics and they're upgraded, they're going to beat you in CC, which means they get to go first. They're probably going to have some extra stats, you know, etc. So there's obviously an advantage to going ahead and maxing them out. So, for example, with my PvP team, I use a an Assault Mode Meliodas composition. So I have all of his closet sort of maxed out that I can get. I'm still missing a weapon for him, but this one hasn't come out yet, so I'm waiting for that. And then I could technically max this out, but I'm kind of waiting because I assume that they are going to be giving out an extra costume for them, which will be an entire UR set. So I'll probably just buy the weapon and the headpiece out of it instead of just wasting the materials on this. Which I said earlier that there's only UR cosmetics for festival units. This is a Holy War festival, and technically Lostbane was a festival as well, but I think you get an SSR cosmetic from maxing out their affinity, so my bad on that. But honestly, that's pretty much all you need to know. You can, you know, just look at whatever you need to as far as like their actual stats go. You'll notice that certain pieces are going to give you better stats, like substats and stuff like that. So like this piece gives you crit resistance and crit defense of varying percentages. This one is just crit resistance. This one is crit resistance as well. This one is resistance and crit resistance. You know, you got to try to figure out what is best for that character specifically. One of the best examples of that is Hauser. I don't know where my Hauser is. I don't even think he's maxed out. Here's Hauser. So one of the first couple of sets that they ever came out with that was paid only, like you had to spend real money on, was this set right here. And the weapon that came with this set was this right here. And this was the best cosmetic to get for him specifically because it had the highest pierce rate, which is what a lot of people wanted on his sort of weapons and everything like that. So because this is a farming unit, like they wanted to be able to do as much damage as possible, so pierce rate was kind of the big thing that they wanted to grab out of all of his cosmetics. So this was always the one that everybody was like, oh, you got to get this set, or like this piece specifically for Hauser if you can. And I mean, I'm sure there are like cosmetics like that for some of the newer characters, but it seems like more often than not, once they reach like the 5 cosmetic limit at this point for newer characters, they don't really seem to release a whole lot of extra ones now. So like the initial costumes and stuff like that that they come out with seems to be sort of the basic like concept behind it. Like a lot of these newer units really don't have a whole lot of costume sets, whereas you've seen earlier with Jericho specifically, Jericho had like 1,003 cosmetics. And it's basically just because she's been out in the game for a really long time. And there's like 3, I know there's 2 different SSR, or no, there's 2 different SR Jerichos and like 3 or 4 different SSR Jerichos. So there's obviously a lot of cosmetics as far as like, you know, defense pieces goes, and I still don't even have them all because a lot of these are paid. There's a ton of weapons for her and stuff like that, but a lot of the times you won't have to worry about this sort of like, you know, pick and choose which one's the absolute best or anything, because a lot, like I said, a lot of the newer characters really don't have that issue. So yeah, honestly, just kind of focus on what team you want the most, and who you're trying to work on specifically. Like PvP teams, I would imagine the one Escanor is always a really good one to go for. He's a really big meta unit, so obviously having his cosmetics and stuff like that is very important. So you want to grab his cosmetics and try to max them out as much as possible, so that way you can use him to his fullest potential. So that's honestly pretty much it. The only other thing that you really need to know is like getting the cosmetic upgrades themselves. You do have to do the sort of like raid bosses and everything like that. So you go to boss battles, and if you get a death match, you can fight one of the 4 new demons, or not new, but one of the 4 demons that are out. There is one new demon, which is Belmoth. He's quite hard. He takes a lot of sort of communication between your teammate. So I don't know, if you're a newer player, you might not want to go for that one specifically, but there's red demons, gray demons, and Howlix demons, which normally you want to play on hell difficulty to guarantee you a cosmetic upgrade, but you do have a smaller chance to get them on extreme difficulty as well. But a lot of the times the events and stuff like that will give out cosmetic upgrades. going through this as well, again, you'll notice that if you've already gotten the cosmetic upgrade or the cosmetic that they're giving out for a specific event, so this is the second time that they've brought, I think it's this one right here around, I got cosmetic upgrades instead of getting the costume, because obviously you can't use 2 costumes. So there's a bunch of different ways to get them. Like final boss is active right now. You can get them from the final boss cosmetic or the exchange shop. Just a bunch of different ways. There's the Brawl PvP shop has them and stuff like that. So you can get them without doing demons, but obviously there's, you know, an advantage to grinding out demons and getting them that way. So kind of a lot to take in. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that, you know, you really need cosmetics in this game. Well, you do need cosmetics in this game. I don't like the fact that you do need them. I would much rather those be just like an aesthetic thing, like buy them if you want your character to look different or whatever, but that's not really how it works in this game, so you gotta go for them if you really want to like max your characters out and stuff like that. So that is pretty much it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this wasn't like a jumbled mess. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but it's kind of a big topic and it's kind of hard to like narrow down like all the specifics and everything like that. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, feel free to leave it in the comments for, you know, other people who are maybe looking this up or, you know, just want to get that information out there, whatever the case may be. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video.